Fayetteville is growing at a significant rate, and that means some changes have to be made. The train bank that has been sitting here for the past 30 years is next to go. Let's take a closer look. This pickup and drop-off spot is one of the most high traffic areas on campus. There are some students are seen either crossing in an unsafe manner or crossing diagonally outside of the crosswalks. Now, I was able to speak with UAPD police officer Alan Porter, and he says that if he ever had to drive one of these buses, he would probably pull his hair out. Many women with ADHD aren't diagnosed until later in life. This can often lead to depression or anxiety. Let's take a closer look. Going to school from 9 to 5, then going to work from 5 to 9 is the reality of many students on campus. Some students have even said they've skipped class to go to work. Let's take a closer look. Imagine being arrested and taken to Washington County Detention Center, where you'll probably have to sleep on the floor. This is how one previous inmate, Donnie Vincent, felt when he was arrested last year. Whether you're in a classroom having a hard time focusing, oh my gosh, hold on, I forgot about something. Or if it's like that super important meeting that you forgot about, ADHD and women can be really difficult. Many women with ADHD aren't diagnosed until later in life. This can often lead to depression or anxiety. Let's take a closer look. Girls typically display inattentiveness rather than hyperactivity, leading to a later diagnosis. According to experts, the percentage of women ages 23 to 49 diagnosed with ADHD have nearly doubled since 2020. Some women, like Catherine Scale, have been misdiagnosed with anxiety instead of ADHD.
The world was too noisy, was the way I worded it. And when my doctor heard that, he's like, oh, you're anxious.
Whether you're in a classroom having a hard time focusing, oh my gosh, hold on, I forgot about something. Or if it's like that super important meeting that you forgot about, ADHD and women can be really difficult.
I would say that I see more female adult clients with the inattentive type of ADHD than I do with the hyperactive type. But that could be because that female has tried for years and years to mask the symptoms of hyperactivity.
According to the CDC, for every 4 boys, 1 girl is diagnosed with ADHD, and boys ages 3 to 7 are more likely to be diagnosed than girls.
Most of my scores were much lower than that.
Catherine was diagnosed at 19, but she says her family started noticing her symptoms around 6 years old.
She can't sit at her desk, she talks really fast, and she loses track of her thoughts and things like that.
Cheney Weaver says there may be some stigma around hyperactivity symptoms in boys compared to girls.
You hear that boys will be boys, and then in the same hand, you might hear a parent or an authority figure correct a little girl and say, now act like a lady.
ADHD can be displayed in many different ways, but it's more common for boys to be diagnosed rather than girls. For UATV, I'm Carlee Gilpin. Going to school from 9 to 5, then going to work from 5 to 9 is the reality of many students on campus. Some students have even said they've skipped class to go to work. Let's take a closer look. While enrolled in college classes is not uncommon for 8 out of 10 college students. For students enrolled in 5 classes a semester, it can be hard to find the time to keep up with friendships and other extracurricular activities. For students who work,
The Life at Elmwood Grove, this is Hannah. How can I help you?
it can be even more difficult. Hannah Huber is a full-time college student and works 2 jobs. She says it can be difficult to manage.
It's like a puzzle that represents different aspects of your life. You know, there's work, school, personal time. It's like trying to puzzle them all together to fit perfectly, and it doesn't always work.
According to a journal by the American Education Research Association, students who work over 15 hours signed up for 1 less class on average per semester. Students can access federal Pell Grants for only 12 semesters, but this may leave some working students without financial aid if they take 1 less course per semester. Lily McPherson is a student who also works 2 jobs, and she says it can take a mental toll.
It gets to me more when I go like 4 or 5 days and I realize all I've done is go to work and go to school. I haven't, not only have I not seen my friends, like I haven't done anything for myself.
For Lily, school is just as important to her, but she says she will make sacrifices for her jobs if she needs to. She admits the lines can get slightly blurry between her work life and her studies.
If they want something extra from me and I want to deliver to continue to generate positive feedback for myself, then I will skip my class so I can go in early for a shift, or, you know, I'll miss turning in an assignment and I'll stay late because they needed another hour of help.
Though it may look good on a resume to hold a job while in college, it can be difficult for many students. For UATV, I'm Carlee Gilpin. I'm outside of Washington County Courthouse where nearly 200 protesters line the streets behind me. There have been nearly 7,000 casualties between Palestine and Israel since 2008, according to United Nations. Abel Tomlinson is the leader of the protest, and he says that the United States is causing more harm than good.
I want peace in the world, and the United States is one of the biggest forces for not having peace in the world, and this is certainly the case with Israel-Palestine. The United States is behind the Israeli policy that is causing the conflict.
According to a recent poll by NPR, 50% of Gen Z and millennials said that the U.S.'s support for Israel is causing danger to the region. Tomlinson says that he is calling for a stop to the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians and a stop to the war. For UATV, I'm Carlee Gilpin. The Washington County Detention Center has been grappling with overcrowding issues since 2018. Today, the detention center is over capacity by 140%. Sheriff Jay Cantrell says he started noticing the population growth within the detention center since 2013.
You know, our numbers are going up. They're creeping up. They're creeping up. They're going up. But, you know, at some point, ladies and gentlemen of the court, we're going to have to do something.
Imagine being arrested and taken to Washington County Detention Center, where you'll probably have to sleep on the floor. This is how one previous inmate, Donnie Vincent, felt when he was arrested last year.
I necessarily didn't want to stay on the floor. You know, like I said, jail it's not a convenient place to go to, but there was a good 15 to 20 people on the floor whenever I was in there.
After voters rejected a $100 million expansion plan and sales tax increase, the Quorum Court agreed to use nearly $20 million received from the American Rescue Plan Act for the project. The detention center plans to add 130 beds and expand their intake area and medical space. Sheriff Cantrell says it would make the work environment more manageable.
Stepping over people that are sleeping on the floor to go do their daily or their hourly jail checks to check on all the people. It's just going to make the working conditions a lot better. And you get 50 people crammed into a place that's really designed for 24. Right. The intentions are short.
Their plan is to find a contractor locally and to break ground around the first of the year. Fayetteville is growing at a significant rate, and that means some changes have to be made. The train bank that has been sitting here for the past 30 years is next to go. Let's take a closer look. The historic Dixon Street train bank is causing a logo commotion as it faces closure at the end of this month. Bank officials announced the branch would permanently close at 5 p.m. on September 29th. Elizabeth Essex is a regular account holder at the bank, and she says the bank made simple tasks more exciting.
Even a person like me that doesn't necessarily want to do something like responsible, like going to a bank, can kind of get into the idea of going to a train to do it.
The owners of the bank sold the land to Ramble North LLC for nearly $2.5 million. Ted Belden and Greg House with Ramble North plans to build a hotel on the property. Silas Tremaine is a bartender at Tin Roof, and he says he is excited for the future of Dixon.
I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more people, and I think that will greatly impact Dixon Street in general.
With new plans underway for a hotel, the train bank's fate is undecided. Elizabeth says the residents of Fayetteville aren't being taken into consideration.
No one local seems to really be excited about it. The hotel isn't going to benefit many people that actually reside here.
According to Greg House, the architects for the hotel have been looking at ways to incorporate the train cars into the project if it is possible. The train bank has been a part of Fayetteville since 1996, so finding its new home is important to the bank officials. For UATV, I'm Carlee Gilpin. Setting our clocks back an hour means less daylight in the evenings. Research shows that standard time is actually more beneficial for our health. As the sun begins to set earlier in the day and the leaves begin to change, studies show standard time is best for our sleep. Dr. Ivan Vargas says that daylight savings time is more detrimental to our health than standard time.
For our sleep patterning and like having good consistent sleep, having a lot of light early in the morning is what is most important. And so because the sunlight and the sun is the biggest trigger for our circadian rhythm.
American Academy. Other states have pushed to make daylight savings time permanent, but according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, studies show how it could lead to even greater health risk. Dr. Vargas says that keeping the same time throughout the year, whether that be daylight savings time or standard time, is more beneficial for our health. For UATV, I'm Carlee Gilpin.